My new book, Pillars for Life, A Guide to Spiritual Ethics and Practice, is now out and available for you to read and purchase. You can check out our website, willowhealing.org, to find a link, or you can find it on Amazon. We look forward to getting your feedback, and if you love it, please leave a review and share with your friends. Now it's time for the show. Welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey where we explore different ways to empower your soul, whether it's healing in your kitchen or all the way up in the corporate world. Come with us as we look into different ways to heal your mind, body, and soul. Hey everyone, it's Catherine Cristani with another episode of Willow Healing Matters, and today I am here with the beautiful Stephanie Nelson. So she is a spiritual guide and embodiment mentor devoted to truth, presence, and the sacred unfolding of the heart. Through deep stillness, intuitive insight, and unconditional love, Stephanie supports others in remembering who they truly are. And she also has some other fun adventures, which we're going to go through today. So a big welcome to the show, Stephanie.
Thank you so much. Such a pleasure to be here with you, Catherine. And thank you for the opportunity.
You're very welcome. So I guess to start, I always like to ask my guests kind of how did you get on your spiritual path? Because sometimes people have had it their whole life, but sometimes something happens. Something happens.
Yeah. Looking back, I was fairly successful at a pretty young age in finance. And I found that even though I had what our culture in America here considers success, I felt a deep unfulfillment. And so I really had a strong sense or feeling kind of creeping up that like, there's got to be more to life than this. And that was some of the opening for me. I really, because it was such a strong sense that I just knew it. It's like there was some kind of deeper knowing. And I didn't necessarily make any plan of what to do with that knowing. I just kind of honored that it was there and got more curious about it. And then it seemed like things, like a book was handed to me. My first spiritual book was like the Four Agreements. It's very simple. I loved it. It was perfect. And that just kind of unfolded into another book, and it kind of went from there. So that's how I started on the journey.
And I love and I think that's for a lot of us, like it's that genuine curiosity, because you're either curious because you want to know more to fill a void, or you're curious because you want to change some tragedy that's happened in your life to make sure it doesn't happen again, right? It's like, it's usually the extremes, or you've gotten out of a relationship or something like that. And I love that one simple book then just started a kind of like, I feel like when you get the right book, it's almost like coming home. It's like, oh, this is what I've been looking for.
Yeah. Well, actually, it led me. It's interesting you say that, because that book led me to a Conversations with God. Are you familiar with that book?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Well, It was huge for me because actually when I grew up in religion as a Seventh-day Adventist when I was younger, my mom took me to church, and it didn't, even as a kid, I was like, this just seems off. Like, this just doesn't resonate. I didn't feel like there was unconditional love there. There was just a lot of things that the idea of God, the way it was presented, is this God that's in the sky waiting to punish you if you did something wrong. It just didn't feel right. And so when I got into my 20s, I just didn't believe in God, is what I thought. And as I got introduced to that Conversations with God, it was really powerful for me because he was describing God as this energy and not as this man in the sky. And it was talking about, I think one of my favorite parts was that we're really here to recreate ourselves again and again in the highest, grandest vision we can hold for ourselves. And there was so much about that book. I was like, okay, I do believe in this. I do believe in this higher power. I just needed it explained to me in a way that really deeply resonated for me. So that was very exciting. And that really catapulted my deeper longing for connecting with the divine. And yeah, it was beautiful.
And I love that because I resonate so much with that because growing up, it was like kind of a Catholic upbringing. But when I say a Catholic, it's like a loose Catholic, right? Like we didn't
Mm-hmm.
eat meat on Good Friday and we did the communion confirmation, but we only went to church for special occasions kind of thing. But then when I was in high school, I was at an Anglican school. And when I started, I was just before high school. And I remember them like saying, "Do you believe in Jesus?" And I truly did. And it wasn't from a Christian standpoint. I just truly believed he was a person. And he was like, I just knew in my heart he was a real person. Right. And anyway, so then we got to high school. And then the question was, do you believe that, he died for your sins and that sort of thing? And I was like, no, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe. So then the school love this. They call this lunchtime thing, and I'm like, why am I getting called? So there's all like these kind of I want to say the rebels of my year, and then I'm
Mm-hmm.
there, and this one other girl, and we're like looking at each other because we're like, what have we done? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why are we here? And then they're like, oh, we're just here because we're concerned about your faith, and I'm like, what? Like, it was just such a thing to kind of push me so far away from religion at that point
Mm-hmm.
that I was just like, this is ridiculous. And then when I came back and started working with Jesus in my own way, it was like you said, it was like that coming home and you're like, okay, this makes more sense. This is why it works with me. And this is why it's sitting with me better, because it's not with the constructs of religion
Yeah,
around it that is
exactly.
stopping it. Yeah. And then, like we said, like you keep coming back to evolve your soul, because my spiritual mentor and I, we always joked with each other because she's like, oh, you always do the work. And I'm like, why would you want to come back and do it again? I need to get it done this lifetime. I don't want to have to live it again and again and again. Like it's just, you're like, no, I'm going to deal with it. I'm not going to run and hide. It's like, oh, here's a trigger. I'm going to run towards it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and I guess that's, where it comes from, that evolvement. And then you keep being curious and you keep following those breadcrumbs and see where they lead you, because it's those little bits where you light up and you find joy, or you find that soul remembrance, or like
Mm-hmm.
if you're moved to tears, like that can be and it's so simple. I remember listening to a podcast and this person was sharing that Earth is the emotional university of like Earth is the emotional university of the galaxy, kind of thing. And I just started crying. I'm like, it is. And it was almost like this soul, like, yeah, he gets it. So, and that they're all the clues that life leaves you to know that you're on the right path, or you're listening to the right thing, or you're finding the information that resonates with your soul.
Yes, yeah, exactly. In those really fun, delicious, kind of serendipitous ways. So yeah,
Exactly.
I always
It's
encourage people to just follow that, like whatever that inner sense is, whatever it is in any area of your life, that kind of inner knowing, because that'll lead you on a very yummy adventure, at least in my experience, and very supported by God, universe, source, the divine, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and I think that's such a beautiful reminder too, that, when you are following your intuition, things do align and you are
Mm-hmm.
supported. And, that's, so much of where that acceptance comes from accepting who you are on that deeper level. With, despite everything, you just accept everything, all the shadows, all the darkness, all the light, all the yummy stuff. And then
Mm-hmm.
you just see how your life evolves.
Yes, yeah. It's more than what I hear you saying, and what I feel is happening in my life is the more we can allow whatever our inner experience is unconditionally, then and really honor it, and whatever potential movements being born out of that, then we're in alignment. And what I'm experiencing is the more I'm aligned internally, the more effortlessly everything aligns externally. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and I love that you brought up movement too, because it links into what you do a little bit as well with your embodiment. embodying energy in. So did you want to share a little bit about what that actually involves? Which is weird because it's kind of nothing and everything at once, right?
Yeah, sure. Well, I can like talk about like what a session's like with me,
Yeah,
if you
go
like.
for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the sessions are an hour long, and they're usually done over Zoom. I can do them in persons, but mostly I do them over Zoom. And the first like 20 minutes or so, I do a guided meditation, and that's an opportunity or an invitation, I should say, for us to come into presence together. And when we're in resting in being, so basically coming from out of the thinking mind, which a lot of us are, if not all of us, are pretty conditioned to be identified with. So when we come out of that and we're resting in the heart of our being, or another way to say it is the light of our own consciousness, then in that light, old beliefs can surface that you can see. Also, old traumas and old unprocessed energies will come up to be integrated. And when I do a session, everyone is unique because I don't know what that person's going to have come up. And I really enjoy that piece of it because it's a mystery, and I get to just kind of follow where their consciousness is wanting to go, and that innate wisdom of the body that beats our heart and breathes the air in our lungs all day that we don't have to think about. It knows how to heal all of this in our presence. And so I just really hold that space um, for that person to open unconditionally to whatever arises for them, which
Yeah,
I've,
and I
go ahead.
yeah, I love that because I love, how you shared it's a mystery and it is a mystery. Even when I do my work, I never know what's going to come up. And 'cause, and sometimes I'm guided and I'm like, can I can I do that? I can do that. I'm like, okay, all right. And then I was like, okay, so we're doing something new today and let's just roll with it. And they're like, oh, but you just knew how to do it. And I guess that's where trusting your own intuition as the practitioner is really important, but also holding space for the person you're working with so they can have their own journey, because in the end we're just there kind of as a guide, right? And just
Yeah,
helping them get through and unpack it.
yeah. My experience is, we each are our own inner guide, and we each know exactly what we need and what when we need it. So essentially, I'm just there, trusting and following their unfolding in the light of their own
Yeah.
consciousness. So
And it's beautiful, hey? It's just like, especially when they get the aha moments.
yes, definitely when they get the aha moments, or especially if any of the moments where they're able to access, I think, areas that have been really difficult for them to get access to on their own, essentially, like old traumas or unprocessed emotions. That can be, I know in my own experience, on my own journey, deepening in presence, I've had a lot of trauma in my lifetime. And so I've really valued having that space to deepen with someone else in presence, because sometimes when you're just sitting alone, it's not as easy to access those. They don't get as triggered as easily or get brought up in the same way as easily um, than when you're being witnessed um,
Yeah.
with another. So,
Yeah, and sometimes you just need that person outside of yourself to help you shine the light as well. Because my favorite saying my coach said to me was, "A mirror can't see herself," and I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes so much sense." Because you can't see everything that's happening,
yeah,
whereas sometimes having someone outside can help you just connect the dots too. Especially because they're on the outside, they're not in the trauma or they're not in the fear, fight, flight response, the freeze response, that someone on the outside can help you put it all together so it actually aligns.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I feel to ask, I just keep getting asked about the fruit thing. So I know you're very intuitive and you've been, and I only know this, everyone's listening, like, how does she know this? I know this because I've known Stephanie before she's come on the show. So like, this is why. So Stephanie does this amazing different fasts where she gets so much clarity, but I'm going to let you explain what you do because it's just really cool.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So I'll just back up for a second and just say that part of my spiritual journey was having health issues. And I can see now that it was a great gift, and there's been a tremendous amount of wisdom that's been born out of it. And I think it's also, now looking back, been a huge catalyst for my spiritual growth being expedited in a sense. So super grateful now. But as I was going through these health challenges and was really at a loss with Western medicine and realizing I wasn't going to get help there, I had to open up my mind to other options and possibilities. And that's when, again, the universe supported me and brought in the a naturopath. Actually, I saw that was talking about eating all fruit to heal yourself. And initially, I thought this guy's just crazy, because I had a lot of limiting beliefs around fruit. And one of those, for example, was like it would rot my teeth out, or I would get fat, or something like that. So I had these beliefs, and so I finally just I surrendered eventually, because the message kept coming in. It was like it kept coming and it kept coming, and I finally said, okay, well, what do I really have to lose here? I can deal with these potential consequences if that happens, but I really need to do something. So I opened up my mind and took a risk, what seemed like a risk at the time, and it really paid off. Within a week of just making a subtle little change of just eating fruit in the morning, a watery fruit in the morning, I really saw for the first time a substantial difference in my energy levels and being able to get out of bed and just function like a normal person again, which was huge for me. And I felt super, super grateful and really kind of excited about the possibility of getting my life back at that moment. And so I really very quickly jumped in deeper and went to having fruit for breakfast and lunch, and 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 kind of just started deepening from there. And it's been a slow process of kind of cutting out and removing the things from my diet that I grew up on and was raised on, but I realized through this process are not serving me and my overall health and well-being. So it's been a process in that. And as far as my spiritual journey goes, it's been absolutely amazing. Like you said, the clarity when I do. So now I'll go on, I did 42 days of all grapes. For example, I did another last summer of 100 days of all watermelon. I'm now going into another 100 days of all watermelon. So, and the reason I feel so called to these, like, mono fruit fasts is what they call them, is it really, I mean, I feel my best. I have this just very clear connection to the divine or source. And, or another way to say it, my intuition becomes absolutely uncanny. And also just feel really like in this very symbiotic relationship with life when I'm doing this. Like, I'm really supporting all of life. Like, this is good for me, and it's good, so it's good for the planet, it's good for the animals, it's good for everybody. It's like it's a truth, because it's just good all the way around. It's just goodness. And that feels really good. So since it feels like I'm supporting, and then I'm also being very supported at the same time. So it feels very symbiotic, and like there's this dance going on between me and life that is just really delicious and yummy and good.
Yeah. And I love too, like how you shared that, that the clarity that you get. And I used to be one that was like, oh, who fasts, duh, duh, duh. And then I did a 40-hour water only fast. And I have never had so much energy or clarity or like felt so good doing it. And I only broke the fast because I genuinely was hungry. And it wasn't a hungry as like, oh, I'm fasting. It was like, my body's like, okay, we're ready for food again now.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I love that, through your journey, you have that clarity with that, and that you started on that by being skeptical, because sometimes we have to start with a healthy dose of that, right? And then
Yeah,
be unpacking
absolutely.
all your beliefs, and then see just like paying attention to all the signs saying, okay, maybe I should try this. And then how you then eliminated, what was working and what wasn't working in your diet, so that you could learn what is right for you. And I feel for anyone listening, that always comes back to what feels right for your body and what aligns for your body and what charges you up and what doesn't. Because I could possibly do the watermelon one, but my body doesn't like it the same way. So it just depends what your body needs, and it's listening to that inner wisdom that your body has, which is the full circle back to what you do, right? Which is,
Yeah.
embodying your intuition so you can be fully present in yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I love what you said, definitely about just, really following your own inner guidance about what feels right and what makes you feel alive and feel energized and good. Because and happy. That's what it's all about. So for me, definitely, this journey has served me very well. And I can't even really put into words the level of benefit that it's given me, because there's so many areas of my life that it has and is continuing to benefit. But yeah, for me, I have so much gratitude. I feel like it's given me my life back, and not just my life back, but in a very, even more than what I've experienced even as a child, remembering like what I felt like. I feel really, really good. Um, One thing I will say too that's kind of interesting about it, there's a couple different ways I could go with this, but one is the the trauma that I've experienced in my life. I feel like, I've had some issues, some challenges with that. And I feel like when I'm on the fruit, it makes those kind of denser energy patterns lighter. It loosens them.
Mm.
And it also, at the same time as it's making those lighter, it seems like it's giving me more access to having these deeper traumas come up so I can be with them, and they can begin to integrate and be processed. So,
Yeah, what I'm hearing is kind of like, it's almost like because your body isn't working on trying to figure out how to attack your next meal, because it knows the predictability of the structure of the fruit that's about to hit its system and what it can do energetically and how to store it and everything. It's almost freeing up space so that you can address deeper emotional and life events that come up in that time, because there's no extra energy being diverted to having to your body to almost, the word I'm hearing is like attack the food because it's pulling it apart and doing what it needs to do. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like I can definitely more seems like it's being accessible is the best way I can put it, and that I'm really being supported between the presence, which is I'm deepening in, and it's like the fruit is supporting that. So it's a
Yeah.
powerful, supportive combination.
Yeah. 100%. And I guess, and for anyone listening, if you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe all she's eating is fruit, just again, this is why knowing your own body is so important, because you need to know what works for your body and what doesn't work for your body. And this is why this has been my kind of gripe with diets, is diets don't work for everybody because everyone's body is different. Everyone's like gut biome is different. Everyone's, genetic makeup is different. Everybody's different. For me, I don't love eating. Like some days I don't even want to look at food. And that's just because my body that day might not want the food to process. It might just want to be in flow or whatever it might be. And then other days I might be ravenous, but I also honor that because I'm like, why am I hungry today? And I ask the questions and be curious about that. It's like, okay, it's freezing. Fair enough. I need some extra food to help my body warm up, So it's like paying attention and getting that feedback into what is happening in your body and listening to that body's wisdom, because it has so much wisdom. And also not being afraid to do something because you feel intuitively to do it versus what everyone else tells you should or shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Very important, I think, to follow what your inner knowing. And I'm really deepening around that right now. It's like, I call it, just living from the heart and just truly like not relying on outside sources to confirm even what I know, what I'm sensing and I'm feeling, because it's my truth, and each of us have our own unique truth and our own unique path that we are here to unfold from the inside out. So I think I totally agree with you about that. Just following what feels really most true for you.
Exactly. And I know I've shared it with you before, but I don't think I've shared it with my listeners. So for ages, I couldn't eat meat. And it wasn't because I had like this stand against it or anything like that. It was genuinely my body couldn't process it because there was so much stress on my liver, and my stomach acid just kept getting drained really quickly. So if I ate meat, I genuinely was sick. Like I was just generally not well. And I did a lot of work at the start of this year, actually, working on my liver, helping it. And all of a sudden I had this wicked craving for meat. And I think my husband was just cooking like these organic beef hot dogs. And I said, I want one of those. And he's like looking at me like, what? Like, he's like, you don't like meat. Like, and I was like, no, my body wants one. And I went back the next week to my acupuncturist who'd been helping me. I'm like, guess what? I actually wanted meat and I ate it and I was okay. But I also know I can't eat it too much. But at the same time, I knew my body needed it because my iron was just dropping too low, especially when I was going through my cycles and things like that. And supplementing it was working, but I hate iron supplements. They're horrible. And, again, it was like listening to my body. And I'm still mainly a vegetarian diet. But I still, when I crave meat or need meat, I'll eat the meat. And I always check in because sometimes my husband will cook something which has meat in it. And I'm like, I don't want that. And that's okay, and he doesn't take offense to it. He's like, all right, fair enough. And I was like, I'll just have the pasta, or I'll just make myself a salad or something like that. It doesn't matter in the end. It's just like, okay, that's fine. And that comes back to knowing your body so well that you can listen to that wisdom when you get the no and honor it, and not just go along because a person's made something and you feel like you have to be polite and eat it.
Yeah. That's so nice that you have that kind of relationship where you can, follow what feels most true for you and it's honored.
Exactly.
And there was something else I wanted to share about that around, what was it? Well, it'll come back. If it wants to come back, it'll come back because I lost it.
Exactly. If it comes back, it comes back. But as we start to finish our time together, Stephanie, I asked the guests that come on the show if you could heal or change something in the world, what would it be?
If I could heal or change something in the world, it would be that people, that humanity, that we remember the truth of our being and live that out in sharing our unique talents and gifts and living our divine purpose that we came here to live.
Yeah, exactly. So beautiful. And I think, well, I feel that if people start to tune more into what their soul wants, I don't think they'll recognize themselves because we've been so conditioned to live a narrative that's not even ours. And when you start to pull yourself out of that and listen to your own inner wisdom, it's amazing how different your life starts to look.
I agree. I can sense mine even is still like it's already radically shifted and changed, and I sense there's a lot more to come. So I agree. I think where a human life can go, I think, is so incredible, because it totally can transform and evolve into something completely different than where it started.
100%. And if people want to come work with you, Stephanie, or check out what you're doing, where can they find you?
I have my website, which is stephaniemnelson.com. And I believe also I gave you like my Facebook and Instagram info, which if you can post down below, that's another way that you can reach out to me.
I definitely will. I'll make sure to put all of that on the show notes so that people can come and find beautiful Stephanie if they want to work with you, if they want some embodiment guidance. And she is not limited just to the US. Like she said, she does a lot on Zoom. And I know because I've had a session with her. So definitely you can do it online. It's just
Absolutely.
Definitely happens. It definitely
Absolutely.
happens. So thank you for sharing your journey with us, Stephanie, your wisdom, and thank you for sharing this space with me.
Oh, thank you. I had such a good time. It was such a pleasure to be together. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We have so much love and gratitude that you have taken the time out of your day to empower you on your healing journey. The views shared by the person being interviewed might not necessarily reflect that of the host and should be used at your own discernment. Trust what resonates for you and follow your heart and soul guidance. If you have any underlying medical conditions or mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider before pursuing any of the recommendations. Likewise, you can always contact the person being interviewed to find out more information. This can be found in the show notes. Remember to activate, align, heal, empower, and find love in everything that you do.